definitely the ones that showed up here tonight. We have a great lineup of comics for you tonight, so please enjoy, but keep your table talk to a minimum, keep your phones on silent if you could, so we can all enjoy the show. Hello, my name is Joe Ney, or if you've been drinking, hi, I'm John Goodman. I was at a cocktail party, a woman, I got a little bit of an echo here. A woman, could you take care of that? A woman I didn't even know, now batting for Pedro Salon, Oscar Ramirez. We got a baseball. Yankee fans from the New Yorkers here, right? Yeah, I figured that. There you go. We still got the echo. I'm a Marlins fan, but they've been having a tough season so far. They took the home run statue out of center field and replaced it with something more representative of baseball in South Florida, empty seats. I saw an online personal ad, single South Florida male seeking female. He must be a Marlins fan. I want you to already be familiar with disappointment. Had a woman come up to me at a cocktail party. She started rubbing my big belly. She asked if it worked like a Buddha statue where she could make a wish. I told her I would be much more likely to grant her wish if she rubbed lower. Because my feet were really hurting. I have a geographical joke, but you guys are from New York. You may not get it, so I'll skip it. How many of you are here from you?
New Jersey.
Jersey, okay.
Jersey.
Yes, okay. Since you haven't been here before, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I had my personal identity stolen. I haven't reported it yet, though. My credit was so bad, the thief was actually improving it. Went to the bank this morning I told them I wanted to pay a bill from my account using an electronic funds transfer. They said, I'm sorry, sir, you can't use an EFT because your account has nothing LEFT. Which Sir, are you one of the winners of the spelling bee last Wait tie, yes. He's a baker.
I literally would have had to joke. No, she's another one.
Okay, I'll abandon that joke. Let's keep it. I love that you're having a good time. Let's keep it down when the other comics come up here so they can, you can laugh, but try to keep the talking to a minimum so they can remember their jokes, because I'm old and I forgot mine. In fact, my family was questioning why I would want to get into comedy at such an advanced age. All my pulp cultural references are from the 1970s. The younger audiences wouldn't get it. Well, I understand, but I'm doing this for you guys. I want you to want me. I need you to need me. I love you to love me. Sorry guys, that was a cheap trick. On Last Comic Standing, the judge said it could take up to 30 years to become a good comic.
Damn.
I started 3 years ago when I was 55. So by the time I'm 85, I'm going to be killing it. At the 4 p.m. early bird dinner show at the Forest Lawn Retirement Home. But in that age category, Last Comic Standing takes on a whole new meaning. I was never good with the ladies, didn't have the looks, the personality, or the confidence, so I tried to make up for it with creativity. 7th grade, I lived in an apartment complex. We were going to have a Halloween party at the clubhouse. So I looked around my house saying, what can I make that will, an interesting, unique costume that will make the girls talk to me? So I saw my mother had this styrofoam head that she puts a wig on. I said, okay, I'm going to be the upside down man. I took that head, attached it to the collar of a shirt, pulled the shirt up over my legs, put gloves on my legs, pants on my head, socks and shoes on my feet. Everything fit just perfectly, well, except I did catch my nose in the zipper because I've never had anything as big as my nose in my pants before. So it was cool. I walked down to the clubhouse. It looked like I was walking on doing a handstand, and I thought it would work. And for the first 60 seconds of the party, it worked. You know, everybody said, "Wow, that's a great costume." But then it started to fall apart at that point. I realized that the girls would have to be talking to me at the party into my crotch of my pants, and that wasn't going to work. And you can forget about the slow dancing. Because it was a short sleeve shirt, you could see my calves because I had been working out, and I looked like Popeye, which is not an attractive guy, and I wasn't looking for olive oil. And if you have short sleeve shirts and gloves on, that's usually a sign that you have psoriasis on your hands. That wasn't very good. And then I got so tired after the first few minutes, I had to lay my legs back. And if you've ever seen a sports game, a soccer or football, where someone gets hit and their knee gets bent the other way, and you get nauseous, that's what was happening to all the girls. They wouldn't come around with me. They were nauseous because of that. So that was my introduction into being the upside down man. What else do we have here? I had a pretty good job out of school as a software developer. Then I became a middle manager. Then I became a comic. Seems like I'm on the Benjamin Button career path. If this doesn't work for me today, so next week you'll find me out on Coral Way holding a spotlight sign. And then at the very end, I will hit rock bottom and move to New York. Endorphins are the hormones in your brain that give you pleasure. They're triggered by activity or food such as sex or chocolate. I choose chocolate because my wife let me have chocolate every month. My son come up to me and he asked, Dad, why is it that mommies and daddies don't always get along? I said, well, son, that's because men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Where am I from, Dad? I don't need to do the rest of the joke. Just Where am I from, Dad? Mercury, son. You were conceived in the back seat of a 1984 Mercury Zephyr. Yeah. I don't know. I thought I would have the mental faculties at this point in my life where I could be successful at comedy and eventually see my name up in lights. Now I know the only time I'll see that is a silver alert sign above the turnpike. My wife wanted my kids to go into a private school. I wanted them to go into a public school. So we compromised and they went to a private school. That's what compromise is when you're in a marriage, it's giving up. Giving up on your dreams, your masculinity. But I'm glad they went to the private school because they taught them some really cool things. For example, in first grade when they were learning to spell, in order for them to always know that the letter Q was followed by the letter U, they had a mock wedding. They had a bride that was Q marrying the groom that was U. And that way it reinforced them when they write, always Q and then U. They failed to tell them in most marriages a few years later that QU would turn to FU. And then later that day they had geography class and they learned about Qatar, which is Qatar, which is spelled Q-A-T-A-R. They were saying, okay, where did that U go? Already leaving me on my wedding day. I I bet he's off with that bee. Stop at Publix on my way here. They asked if I wanted to donate $5 to charity. I looked at what I was buying with some ramen noodles. Said if I had an extra $5, don't you think I would have got this Campbell's Chunky Soup? While I was there, I went to the seafood aisle. I wasn't going to buy anything in the seafood aisle. I just like looking in the lobster tank to watch the lobsters awkwardly avoid my eye contact so I won't choose them. It reminds me when I'm in a bar full of women. Right next to the lobster, there was shrimp for sale. There was shrimp for $7.99 a pound, and then deveined shrimp for $10.99. And I found out what the deveined is. The deveined is actually their excrement that they take off for you before they sell to you. How do we put up with this for any other food? We wouldn't, right? Imagine a steakhouse. Sir, you ordered a ribeye, well done, very good, sir. For just $5 more, we can add sauteed mushrooms, and for just $11 more, we can remove the cow droppings. On my way in here tonight, I stopped at an intersection. A guy came at me with his hand out and figured he was homeless, so I rolled down my window and took $1 out of my wallet. It was just then I saw he was holding a sign that says, "This could be you someday." And it got me thinking, you know, he's right. I better hold on to my $1. I was over at the bar earlier talking to this girl, and I think she was really into herself because the very first question she asked me was on a scale of 1 to 100 how hot I thought she was. So I told her 98.6. Which I thought was a pretty high number, right? And she said, no, I want it even higher. I said, well, maybe you'll get the flu. Let's see what else we have for you here today. How about the news? Did you see Uber today? They became a publicly traded company a few months ago, and they had their first quarterly earnings report today and lost $1 billion. Yes, $1 billion in their first quarter. The investor said, did you look between the seats in the back? That's where I usually on an Uber. Thank you for laughing. That was my first time doing that. We used putting that in our sketch show tomorrow night. So you were the test audience for that one. The guinea pig. Speaking of guinea pigs, my daughter had ferrets growing up. One got injured, hurt its shoulder. I took it to the vet, and he said, well, we can repair the shoulder for $300. We can have the fur grow back for $200. So I said, doctor, you're telling me for $500 I can have a refurbished ferret, and for $55 I can go down to PetSmart and get it. But I ended up getting one for free. I caught a rat and force-fed it a Slinky. Yes. Let me see. I was dating this woman for a while. When it came time for us to become physically intimate. She wanted the lights turned off there. She said she was self-conscious about her body. I said, you have a great body. I'm the one that hasn't been to the gym. She says, no, I just think my body is weird. I told her, I'm pretty sure my body is weirder than yours. In fact, I would bet my third testicle on it. All right, we have a wonderful... We have a wonderful group of comics coming up. The first one, he runs a room, Shipwreckers up in Fort Lauderdale on Sunday nights. And what was the other thing I was supposed to say? you can say it when you get up here. Please welcome the very funny Mr. Terrell.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey!
Yeah, Jesus, I love I've never been to a room this swanky in my life. Like I host, I'm an actual comedian. Like never been to a room this swanky, man. He's just like an old bar or some coffee shop. You know? No, this is great, man. And Joe May, give it up for your host. Such a good one. On the way out here, I was telling him, I'm on my way, I'm driving, and I'm sending him a text. He's like, stop texting on your phone and drive safe and get here safe. And I was like, oh man, such a nice old white man. Like, will you be my dad? like my dad left for cigarettes 25 years ago and hasn't left for cigarettes. I know, man. Like I had that problem sometimes, man. Like I go to a bar or something and you sit down like chatting with an old 65-year-old guy, you know, talking about the game or whatever. And then like he has to leave at 12 because he has to go tuck his kids in. Play with my feelings. Play with my feelings and shit. Oh man. No, it's a weird thing, man. It's a weird life. But no, he's a role model. Like I look for role models. Like it's one of those things. I look for role models. Like people who, you know, are doing something that I aspire to do. You know, he's a great stand-up. And don't worry about it. We're gonna get there. I know you guys look at me like, what the fuck is going on with that bag? We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. He's holding the bag. So like, okay, so I host from Fort Lauderdale. Like I do stand up like at the spot at Linwood. I do stand up all over the place. But like, being a stand up comedian is a really shitty job. Like you know, as he was saying, you don't get paid very much doing this. You do this because you love it. You know what I mean? So I had to have a day job just to pay my bills. And like I hear so much weird shit at my day job. Like I work at a call center. Like strange people work at a call center. Like the worst fucking people on earth. I'm right there with you, bro. Like for example, today I was at my job at the call center, and I was on my lunch break, and I had a girl walk up to me, you know, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to try some pirate's booty?"
Yes!
Yes, and listen, you're in the know. I was flabbergasted. I was like, you can't ask me no question like that at work. My booty preferences are none of your damn business, Suzanne County. Like, I want pirate's booty or cowboy's booty or cheerleader booty. That's my business. She sensed my frustration. She was like, no, it's popcorn. And sure enough, it's popcorn. Like, Pirate's Booty is a brand of popcorn that is like marketed to our children or something. Like there's a cartoon character on there. And it's freaking delicious. It's amazing. Like, I've been munching on Pirate's Booty all day long. I got like 3 more breaks to eat Pirate's Booty. Like by the pound. Like it's all pound. This is genius though. This is genius. Because can you think about it? Like, can you think about the marketing exec who got tricked into allowing someone to name a children's food Pirate's Booty? Like, oh yeah, Jim, let's call it Pirate's Booty. And he okayed it. That was the hard part. I'm just upset that everybody missed this golden opportunity because this is not kettle corn. And Pirate's Booty should obviously be sweet. Obviously, it should be like, listen, they're pirates. They're like a bunch of angry old white men with no education on boats for like 10, 12 months at a time. Like somebody was catching dick whether they wanted to or not. Like, it should obviously be sweet corn. Like, I don't know. Oh man, no, like popcorn's a weird, bro. Popcorn's a weird food. It's a fruit, a vegetable, a grain, and a grass. Did you know that about corn? Like corn's like weird. Popcorn's so weird. Like Popcorn is an even weirder town. It's a town called Popcorn, Indiana, man. I'm not joking. Do you know what their #1 export is?
Popcorn, no.
No, it's crystal meth. Like, it's Indiana. What are you talking about? You You guys are from New Jersey. So naive. Oh man, dreadfully unaware of how the world works. No, I mean, there's a girl who I work with at my job, and there's my cubicle, and then like right next to me there's this lady, this older Haitian lady named Vivian, and then right across her there's this girl named Sharifa, and like that's her name. She's not my kid, like that's crowd work. It's called bribery. God.
Is it sweet?
It's not. It's cheddar cheese, man. It's golden. It's that kind of cheese that you can eat when you're 5 because, fuck your health. No, man, but like, so Sharifa, she's so happy-go-lucky. She's just like you guys. Like, and she's always asking questions like, oh, how's your day going? Like, how's everything? Like, she's actually from Jersey. She's actually from Jersey. I just thought about it. She's from Jersey. She's like, how's your day going? And like, you can tell, like, she's never had anything bad happen to her. Like, she's dreadfully unaware of, like, the gravity of the world. Like, she doesn't know she works at a call center, I feel like. And so, like, she's always talking to this lady, Vivian, and she's like, Vivian, what do you do for fun? And Vivian's like, she's fucking 55. She's like, oh, well, sometimes I go to baby showers. Every now and then I go to a baptism party. Like, no, she said that. Like, I'm not making that up. She said that. And at that moment, I thought to myself, like, damn, I never want to get that old. Like, I'm serious. I never want to get that old. Like, where the highlight of my month is going to somebody else's fucking baby shower, going on a boat ride. Like, I don't want to get that old. Oh man, like I want to die young and famous. Like I want to like die doing like a speedball, fucking Saturday Night Live or some shit. Like I want to go out like, with a bang. You know what I mean? Like I want to be like doing some sweet crystal meth. Like and it is surprisingly sweet, unlike Pirate's Booty, because the antifreeze. Like doing some. You know what I'm talking about. I got a things in the room. I want to go out doing this and everything, clutching a handful of Pirate's Booty, like the way I live, like. Oh man, how much time I got, Joe?
You got no time, bro.
Eight.
They got 8 minutes, guys.
If you want it.
Jesus. All right. No, right here.
She's munching on it, don't
This is the
worry.
life I chose.
This is like a joke.
Hey, so do I. Dude.
She calls me pirate, right?
Listen, man. There's something. It's 2019, man. That's something to say about that, man. It's a different world. It's a different world now, man. I feel listen. Let me tell you, this is how you know the world's different, because it's not just you and him. It's not just you and him. Like I date casually. I date online. I'm lonely. I try Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Grindr, whatever works at this point. I want to be happy. I don't care how you look. I don't care. You can have a body like Rosie O'Donnell and a face like Popeye. Shit. As long as you listen to my stories and I don't know. But that's just me being lonely. I'm venting. I'm sorry. So no, man, I'm dating online, right? And so you get on Plenty of Fish and all these people, they have these high ass expectations, and it's the worst people on the internet. You know what I mean? It's the profile on Tinder, the typical profile is I have a 2-for-1 at Applebee's, and I'm looking for my +1. That's the date. And then it's some outlandish ass list of requirements, but if you want to be with me though, you gotta believe in the power of the universe. You have to like my crystals, what's your energy? You know your moon sign? Okay. And then you gotta love all 5 of my cats, and you gotta lick my booty. That's what it's That's his profile, right?
Advertising.
She's lying. No. You gotta lick my booty. And like, listen, I met a girl and I was like, listen, that's a ridiculous request to make of a person. You guys have a ridiculous request for a first date. Like, first of all, I was raised Baptist. Like, I don't know anything about the power of the universe, first of all. Second of all, I'm a dog person. I don't care for cats at all. Like, you guys will get that joke when you're older. No, man. No, man. But like I said, enjoy it. You know, you only find somebody that you love so often. You know what I mean? You gotta enjoy it. Live a happy life. Things are changing though, man. Dating's changing. You know what else is changing? Like the media's changing. Like movies, comics, that shit. It's all changing. Okay, have you heard about, like, in the news, they're trying to make James Bond black? You guys heard about that?
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about
I don't care. It's 2019.
that? No, man. That's a ridiculous fucking premise. No, it's an absolutely ridiculous premise, right? Because James Bond's a quintessentially white character. Like, think about it. All he has is a gun and white privilege. And he saves the world. Like, he's out here like overthrowing legitimate governments, like participating in illegal gambling rings, like smacking women around. Like, you can't have a black person on screen doing that shit. With no repercussions? No. It's a ridiculous premise. Like, that'd be crazy. That'd be almost like taking a quintessentially black character and making him, making him white. Like, can you imagine if, like, T'Challa came out and was just like, look here, colonizer. Like, you're gonna leave this vibranium alone. It's ours. Like, my grandfather came over here with nothing but $5,000 in his pocket, and we started the vibranium. That'd be a ridiculous fucking premise. Like, can you imagine, like, you guys are kind of old, like, but have you seen their Superfly remake? You know what Superfly is?
Yeah.
Somebody of you guys know Superfly, Dolomite, like the old blaxploitation people. Like, can you imagine if like they like picked up John Wayne to do Superfly? Mr. Wayne, do you want to play Superfly? What's a Superfly? He's a superhero Negro pimp. Well, sure, I'm with it, Negro. Look here, bitch, you had better have my money, so help me God. There's gonna be some problems in these parts. Like, it's a ridiculous fucking premise. Like, that's just some shit you shouldn't change, man. This is my last one. Like, I feel like if you start changing that, like, what's next? What do you make, like, Batman black? Make Superman black? It's crazy. You can't have a black Superman. There's only one of me. I think one of me, maybe two of me in the room. Three of me, or us in the room, right? Us. So like, this is a person thing. I'm connecting you. I'm going to connect you guys right now, like all these colored folks. Right? So like, you can't have like a black Superman or a Hispanic Superman for that. You can't, because you're too fucking petty. White Superman woke up with super strength and invulnerability and could fly. And he was like, I'm gonna fight for truth, justice, in the American way. If a black man woke up and was Superman, like the first thing he'd do is go to Tyrone's house. Hey Tyrone, what the fuck is my money, Tyrone? Hey man, oh right. Really, Tyrone? You don't got no fucking money? Like, I got X-ray vision, Tyrone. You got this in your wallet, Tyrone. Give your fucking money block, throw your ass in space. Like, we'd be in Washington, D.C., like right now. Hey, Mr. President, I'm gonna need them reparations. Like right now. Like today, sir. Like, I will blow this whole fucking country up. Like, I swear to God. My 40 acres and a Cadillac. Keep that fucking mule. And some Pirates booty while you're at it. Please come to that's my time. Get over here, host Jay.
Hello, everybody. Charles was kind enough to let me perform at his Shipwreckers show a couple weeks weeks ago, and I love the diversity in there. Not the crowd, but the fact that it was a pirate bar that only served kava, coffee, and tea. Those pirates have been pigeonholed as alcoholics for way too long. But what was really cool about it, they had this big macaw in the back of the bar, but at one point I thought he was heckling me. And the barista said, no, he's just repeating your joke. I said, yeah, but this is a kava bar for millennials. He was repeating it ironically.
Oh.
So, yeah. My wife is from another country, so she uses these clever ways of trying to teach me about other countries, because as an American, we generally don't know. So she named her breast Trinidad and Tobago. And because of that now, I will never forget that of the two, Trinidad is the much larger one. She's from Australia. Dating a woman from the southern hemisphere is pretty much the same as dating one from the northern hemisphere, except I go down on her counterclockwise. I've got to stop here just 1 minute. I was trying to figure out who you remind me of, sir, and I think I finally got it. There's a show on TV called America's Top Male Model. You remind me of the type of person that would watch that show. Our next comic comes all the way from New York City, and he will be headlining at the Miami Improv on July 24th. Please welcome Mr. Oscar Gallazos.
So does this thing on? Do we even need it? There's 5 people here. Really? Who do you like name?
Right.
Do we know each other?
Yeah.
How? Hold on, I'm getting fanboys. This is amazing. Let's talk to
This is amazing.
How do we know each other?
Facebook.
All right, cool.
I'll take it.
I've never felt weirder than this. All right, you must be one of my 3,000 friends. What's going on, dude? How are you?
A lot better now.
All right, cool. How's everybody? What a show. Listen, I have to apologize. If I sound nasally, it's because the last couple of days I've been doing a lot of coke. The bartender's dying, I love it. Tell jokes for one person at a time. Oh God, I'm excited to be here. What's better to be here than in Miami? This is amazing.
Yeah.
We could actually be doing better wearing a strip mall on the second floor. I live in New York City, and I tell people I'm going down to perform in Miami. This is not what they imagine. This is so dark in here. This looks like we're riding out a hurricane, and we got like 2 lights. You ever rode out a hurricane and then been like, you get cabin fever and you're like, fuck this, I'm going out there. I rode out a hurricane. This wasn't even in my set, but I'm going off of it anyways. I rode out a hurricane with my family and I almost murdered my mom 36 hours into the hurricane. She's like, you want me to make you a sandwich? I was like, fuck you! Usually you curse out your mom and then like leave, you know? You can't not I was like, fuck you! And I was like, oh, she's gonna murder me. I'm excited to be here. I grew up down here in South Florida. I grew up about 45 minutes northwest of Miami in a small suburban community by the name of Plantation. I'm sure you guys know about it. Which is kind of a weird name for a town, right? If you tell people you grew up in Plantation down here, everybody knows. You're like, oh yeah, you're over there by the Broward Mall. I got you. But as soon as you leave South Florida and you tell people you grew up in Plantation, everybody just thinks you're racist. I'll never forget, the first job interview I had when I moved to New York City was in front of a big pro-black African man. And he started grilling me with the intimidating tactics. He was like, so where you from, my brother? Where are you from, my brother? Where are you from, my brother? I started getting scared, and when I get scared, I get intimidated. And when I get intimidated, I turn into the biggest immigrant ever. I started literally messing up the English language. Just messing it up. I start using articles before nouns, and technically, you're not even supposed to use them. You'd be surprised how important one little article, like if you take it out, it changes the entire definition and meaning of a sentence. Because instead of looking at this dude confidently and saying, sir, I grew up in Plantation, Florida. I looked at an angry, giant black man in Harlem and I was like, I grew up on a plantation. Which is not what you want to say about people. They get really angry. I moved to New York City. I live in Harlem. Harlem's changing, you know. Harlem's changing. And back in the 70s, 60s, you couldn't even live there. But now it's a different, you know, a different story. And when I moved into my apartment, I realized that I had a lot of roaches in there. And then, which is very normal in New York City apartments. It's just like they just come with the territory. Right? You sign a lease and like some small print is like, oh, there's roaches in here. You don't even read it out here. You just sign, like, give me the apartment, and you lay down and walking all over you, right? But then like a month later, I saw like a couple of mice, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And then like 2 weeks after that, I saw a bunch of ants in my apartment, and I was like, yo, this gentrification shit is going too far. Too far. That was a brand new joke. That was the first time I've ever used it. I was definitely afraid that Yes. Let me tell you something. If it works in South Florida, it's gonna murder in New York City. Murder. I just turned 40. I know I look like I'm 12, and I just ran away from it. I actually turned 40 not too long ago. 40 is a weird age. 40 is when your body slowly starts to let you know that you could possibly die tomorrow. Here's how I know I'm getting older. True story. I know it's only a couple, but we're like a family now. In my life. Here's how I know I'm getting older. The other day I was having sex standing up. I got dizzy and almost dead. But it wasn't even like I was about to finish. Because that's when you can see double and triple and quadruple. This was literally 2 pumps in, my knee buckled, I saw it. I'm telling you, my knee buckled, and I was like, ah! And here's the messed up part about it. I'm not even a true story. True story. Let me paint the picture of what happened. Sir, I know you just walked in here with like younger girls. I'm sorry, but this type of shit happens, all right? So, earmuffs. All 3 earmuffs, okay? So, I live in Harlem. I live in Harlem in a very, very small studio apartment. And at the time I was living with my then girlfriend, who always was complaining about how we only had sex laying down in bed. I was like, okay, you know, she started complaining about it, and I was like, I'm a boyfriend that listens, so I was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, she wants to do this somewhere else. The next time she comes over, wherever I may be, I'm just gonna give it to her right then and there. So a couple days later, she came over, and I was washing dishes in the kitchen, and she just jumped on top of her, and no word said. I was just like, ah! Not like that. I was very rapey. It was more seductive. Right? Let me paint the picture, all right? Small studio apartment. She's bent over like this. Her head's hitting the wall. I'm going right behind her. Small strokes. You know why? Just a little dip. That's it. I'm going to town. My knee buckles. I see the light. I break my fall. But I already told you I got a road situation. So a couple of weeks before, my exterminator had come over and he said that the most racist, he said that the best way to get rid of roaches is to put little ounces of boric acid everywhere. the amount of boric acid. I had like poison in my hand. But I'm a champ and I never stopped pumping. I was like, oh my God, right? And the entire time I was like, I hope she doesn't turn around because she's gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? And as I'm like, I gotta dispose of this out of nowhere, she just goes, smack my ass, and without powder went up in the air. I looked like LeBron James. It was bad. It was bad. Yo,
What the fuck are you doing?
yo, you're fixated on the knee buckle. You're gonna be. Is that your girl? You're gonna be doing the same activity. If your knee, hey, listen, if his knee buckles when he's hitting you from behind, just laugh. Just laugh. Let me change the topic. I've lived in New York City for 15 years, and that means I've been miserable for 15 years. But I took the first step towards happiness. I deleted my social media, which is like almost impossible to do. Now, if you're thinking about doing it, let me give you some advice. You have to think about when you're going to do it. Because I did it right before I got on the train to go to work. And then I was on a train, bored as fuck. And this is how I realized I was missing it. I was sitting there, the girl next to me was on her Instagram, and the entire time I was just looking at her pictures. And then she stopped at a picture that I happened to like, so I just reached over and double tapped her. Which is personal space invasion right there. I was talking about my ex-girlfriend. She's white. I only date white women because my grandmother told me I have to better our race. So you gotta bring it up. But white women are weird. I'm just gonna throw it out there right now. I'll give you an example. I came home one day and she was butt naked and she was like, let's do role play. And I was like, oh, who do you want to be? And she's like, why don't I be the border patrol and you be the illegal immigrant? And I was like, bitch, you're taking this a little too seriously. Is that a black audience member? We broke up and she was way too political. Everything was politics and politics and politics. And listen, I can't stand that nonsense. Specifically, right now. Right now, politics are insane. And people always want to know your affiliation. Specifically as a comic, they want to know your stand. I get the question all the time. Are you red? Are you blue? And I always have the same answer. I'm like, look, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm actually an illegal. So I have let me tell you a story about when I was in Jersey. Somebody's from Jersey over here? You guys from Jersey? Okay, cool. But, all right, so I was in New York City the other day. I was riding the C train, which, by the way, if anybody ever starts a story with I was on the C train, you should automatically assume that story ends in murder. It's the absolute worst line ever. The one was, I'll give it to the C. I don't know. And, you know, we all have our different experiences. Here's my experience, all right? I'm on the C train, and I hear what sounds like someone is punching a window. And I look over, and there's a giant black man punching the window. But this is what he's screaming as he's punching the window. He's like, I hate crackers. I fucking hate crackers. I hate crackers. I fucking hate crackers. And I was like, oh my God, he really hates crackers. And the doors closed, the train took off, and that's when he turned his attention to the rest of the car. So he's like, I hate crackers. I hate crackers. Doors closed, train took off, and then he went, I hate crackers. I hate crackers. I hate crackers. And that's when I realized when I looked around that out of the 9, maybe 10 people on this car, I was the only non-black person in the car. And I was like, oh my God, he's gonna think that I'm a cracker. And then he got in my face and I was like, dude, you gotta say something to get out of the situation. And I had just seen Black Panther and I looked at this dude and I went, what kind of That is the second Black Panther reference on this stage tonight. Hey. White people are clapping, that's called white guilt. How long do I have, bro? Probably like 2? 2. Okay, 2. Here, what can I do in 2 minutes? I can run one out in 2 minutes. I know that for shameless plug, and I usually don't do this, but I have to. I'm headlining the Miami Improv at the City Place, the new City Place in Doral on July 24th. So if you guys would want to see me do a little bit more time, please come by. I'm also bringing a couple of my friends from New York City who are also very funny. I'm Colombian, they're all Colombian. The show's called Hilarious Colombian Americans, but it's really for everybody because those dudes are so funny, and I can't wait. I'm very excited. So that's that.
Post on Facebook.
I will. I've been. Yes. Thank you. All right, now I'm down to 1 minute. All right, let me leave you on this. There's a lot of people in New York City, and there's actually 8.429 million people. You know how I know? I asked Google, and Google knows everything. So, a lot of people. You can never be left alone in New York City. All right, you can have a mansion, like in a high-rise building, but if you live by yourself and you think you have space, but if you actually knock down a wall, there's probably some hairy ape literally 2 feet on the other side of your wall. You can never be left alone. So, I found a place where you can actually be left alone, and I love it. The number one place that you can just be at peace is family bathrooms in New York City. The best family bathroom, Terminal 5, JetBlue, JFK International Airport. You open the door, the toilet's like 50 yards away. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have that much room in my Harlem studio apartment. If I gotta use the bathroom in my Harlem apartment, I have to open the door, turn sideways, I gotta shuffle my feet, I sit down, I close the door, doorknob's just right there, doorknob's just right there. So when I see this toilet is like 200 feet away, I literally got so happy, I started skipping to the toilet. I was like, oh, I got room to take shit. And then the whole time, I just started taking my clothes off, right? So it was like a trail of clothes, you know, a bear attacked somebody. I got butt naked, I started hovering over the toilet, the way women do. Now I understand why women hover. You don't want anything touching. And I told you, I'm turning 40, my balls are getting lower, I don't want them to walk, you know? So now I'm like this. And that's when my worst nightmare began to unfold. It was the incessant lady who was like, hello, is there anybody in there? Hello, is there anybody in there? Hello, is there anybody in there? And the entire time I'm thinking to myself, yo, the door locked alone should let you know that there's somebody fucking in there. But I didn't say anything. I stayed quiet, right? And the lady left, and I thought to myself, oh, thank God I dodged the bullet. Nope, she went and got the janitor. She came back with the janitor, and I heard her through the door say, he went in there, and he doesn't have a family. And I'm thinking to myself, this bitch just snitched on me. That's when my worst nightmare began to unfold. The key went in. The doorknob on my side was a handle that very slowly started to go down. The door slowly started to open. And have you ever been so overwhelmed that you try to put words together, but only noises come out? Because at that point, I wanted to be like, yo, shut the door, there's somebody in here, but all that came out, I was like, and then I made eye contact with this guy. He closed the door, and then he goes, ma'am, there is a baby in there. And then they left. And that's my time. Thank you so much.
Well, that is the end of our show, but it's not the end of the night, because if you're here, you're automatically eligible to stay for the 11 p.m. improvised show where we make it all up. If you haven't seen improv before, you'll try, give it a try. You might like it. We want to thank our bartender, JC, and our comics, and Oscar for coming out tonight. Remember, if you came to the spotlight, you definitely thought right. Good night, everyone.